The year is 1412, a time of great turmoil and uncertainty in Europe, where kingdoms clash and the common folk bear the brunt of the conflicts. In the small, picturesque village of Domrémy, nestled in the heart of France, a girl named Joan is born. This village, with its rolling hills and serene landscapes, seems untouched by the chaos of the outside world. Her family are simple farmers, toiling the land from dawn till dusk. They live a humble life, deeply connected to the rhythms of nature and the changing seasons. Joan grows up amidst these hills and fields, helping with chores and spending her free moments in quiet prayer. Her days are filled with the simplicity of rural life, yet her heart is filled with a profound sense of purpose. She's a very religious child, often found in the village church, her small hands clasped in prayer. In a world that feels uncertain and often harsh, her faith provides a beacon of hope and strength. She doesn't know it yet, but she has an important destiny. Whispers of ancient prophecies and divine missions are far from her mind, yet the seeds of greatness are already sown. Life in Domrémy is peaceful, a stark contrast to the turmoil that rages beyond its borders. The villagers go about their daily lives, unaware of the storm that is brewing. It's very different from the battles happening across France. The land is scarred by the 100 Years' War, a brutal conflict between the French and the English that has raged for decades. The 100 Years' War is a big, scary fight between the French and the English. It has brought suffering and devastation to many. But for now, Domrémy remains a haven of tranquility. But the war feels far away from Joan's quiet village. The distant sounds of battle are but a faint echo, and the villagers continue their lives, hoping the conflict will never reach their doorsteps. Joan's life is simple, filled with the routines of village life. But soon, everything will change. Something big is coming, something that will alter the course of her life and the fate of her nation. When Joan is 13, her life changes forever. While watching sheep in the field, she has a vision. The archangel Michael appears to her in a bright light. He tells her that God has a mission for her, a difficult but important task to save France. Joan is surprised. She's just a simple girl. But the visions continue, and the voices get stronger. Saint Margaret and Saint Catherine appear too. They tell her to find the Dauphin, Charles of Valois, the uncrowned king of France. They say he is the true king, and God wants Joan to help him get his throne back and make the English leave France. Joan believes in her visions, so she starts a dangerous journey to find the Dauphin. She has always felt a divine presence guiding her, whispering secrets of a destiny far greater than her humble beginnings. The path she takes is fraught with danger, but her faith is unwavering. She knows that her mission is of utmost importance, not just for her, but for the future of France. She travels to the fortress of Chinon, where Charles lives. The journey is long and arduous, filled with treacherous terrain and the constant threat of bandits. Yet, Joan's resolve never falters. She is driven by a vision of a united France, free from the clutches of its enemies. The fortress of Chinon stands tall and imposing, a symbol of the challenges that lie ahead. It's a hard trip, but she's brave and determined. Every step she takes is a testament to her courage. The rough terrain tests her physical limits, but her spirit remains unbroken. She faces numerous obstacles, from harsh weather to hostile encounters, but each challenge only strengthens her resolve. Joan knows that her journey is not just a physical one, but a spiritual quest that will test her faith and determination. Finally, she meets Charles, a young man with the problems of a whole kingdom on his shoulders. Charles is skeptical at first, burdened by the weight of his responsibilities and the constant threat of war. He listens to Joan's passionate plea, torn between doubt and hope. The young ruler sees something in Joan's eyes, a fire that cannot be extinguished, a conviction that is rare and powerful. Joan tells Charles about her mission from God. She speaks with a fervor that captivates everyone in the room. Her words are filled with a divine certainty, a promise of victory and salvation. She recounts her visions, the messages she has received from saints, and the divine command to lead France to triumph. Her passion is infectious, and even the most skeptical nobles find themselves moved by her conviction. She says she will lead the French army to victory. Joan's confidence is unshakable. She envisions herself at the forefront of the battle, clad in armor, leading the charge against the enemy. Her belief in her divine mission inspires those around her. Soldiers who were once doubtful now see a glimmer of hope in her words. Joan's vision of victory becomes a beacon of light in the dark times of war. People don't believe her, but Joan knows she's right. The skepticism she faces is immense. Many see her as just a farm girl with delusions of grandeur. But Joan's faith is her shield. She stands tall and confident, unwavering in her belief. She knows that her mission is real, that her visions are true, and that she is destined to change the course of history. Her certainty begins to chip away at the doubts of those around her. She tells them about a special sword hidden behind the altar of the Church of St. Catherine de Fierbois. This revelation is met with astonishment. The sword, she claims, is a divine gift, a symbol of her holy mission. The church, with its ancient walls and sacred aura, becomes the backdrop for this miraculous discovery. Joan's words echo through the hallowed halls, filling the air with a sense of wonder and anticipation. They find the sword, just like she said. Everyone is shocked. The discovery of the sword is a turning point. The once skeptical crowd is now filled with awe and reverence. The sword, gleaming and ancient, is a tangible proof of Joan's divine mission. It silences the doubters and ignites a spark of belief in the hearts of the people. The atmosphere is electric with the realization that Joan's visions are indeed true. Could this farm girl, with her strong faith and special sword, really save France? The question lingers in the air, filled with hope and uncertainty. Joan, with her unwavering faith and the divine sword in her hand, stands as a symbol of hope for a nation in turmoil. Her journey is far from over, but the first steps have been taken. The farm girl from Domrémy is now a beacon of light, ready to lead her country to victory. The city of Orléans is surrounded by the English army. The year is 1428, and the 100 Years' War is raging on. The English forces have laid siege to this strategic city, hoping to deal a critical blow to the French resistance. The people of Orléans are trapped, their supplies dwindling, and their hope fading. The fall of Orléans would be a devastating loss for France, potentially altering the course of the war in favor of the English. If Orléans falls, it would be very bad for France. The city is a key stronghold, and its loss would open the heart of France to further English incursions. The French morale is at an all-time low, and the citizens are desperate for a miracle. The French soldiers, though brave, are weary from the prolonged conflict and the seemingly insurmountable odds they face. Joan, now wearing armor and riding a white horse, arrives at Orléans with the French army. This young peasant girl, claiming to have been sent by God, brings with her a renewed sense of hope and determination. Her presence electrifies the French forces and the beleaguered citizens of Orléans. She is not just a symbol of divine intervention, but also a beacon of courage and resilience. The soldiers are excited to see her. They rally around her, inspired by her unwavering faith and her fearless demeanor. Joan's arrival is like a breath of fresh air, reinvigorating the tired and demoralized troops. Her charisma and conviction instill a newfound sense of purpose and unity among the French soldiers. They believe in her and her mission from God. Joan's faith is contagious, and it spreads like wildfire through the ranks. The soldiers, who had been on the brink of despair, now find themselves filled with a renewed sense of hope and determination. They pray together, seeking divine guidance and strength for the battles ahead. Joan is a good leader in battle. Despite her lack of formal military training, she possesses an innate understanding of strategy and tactics. She listens to her commanders, learns quickly, and makes decisive moves on the battlefield. Her presence boosts the morale of her troops and intimidates the enemy. She plans attacks and leads the soldiers. Joan's strategies are bold and unconventional, often catching the English forces off guard. She leads from the front, showing no fear, and her bravery inspires her soldiers to fight with renewed vigor. Her leadership is a crucial factor in turning the tide of the siege. She's very brave, even when the English fight back hard. Joan faces the dangers of battle head-on, never hesitating to put herself in harm's way. Her courage under fire is legendary, and it galvanizes her troops to push forward, even in the face of overwhelming odds. The English, though formidable, find themselves increasingly on the defensive. Because of Joan, things start to go better for the French. Her leadership and the renewed spirit of the French forces begin to turn the tide of the siege. The French soldiers, inspired by Joan's example, fight with a tenacity and determination that the English had not anticipated. Slowly but surely, the momentum shifts in favor of the French. The siege, which has lasted for months, starts to turn around. The French forces, under Joan's leadership, begin to break the English siege lines. The once impenetrable English positions are now vulnerable, and the French take full advantage. The tide of the war is changing, and the hope of victory is rekindled in the hearts of the French people. Joan, the farm girl who believed in her mission, is changing the war. Her courage, faith, and leadership have turned the tide of the siege and given the French a fighting chance. Joan of Arc's legacy as a warrior and a symbol of hope will endure for centuries to come, forever remembered as the savior of Orléans and a pivotal figure in the 100 Years' War. The English were winning, but now Joan is making things difficult for them. She's a good leader, and the French soldiers are fighting harder than ever. The Siege of Orléans, which showed how strong the English were, now shows how strong Joan is. After many battles, the English are forced to leave. The Siege of Orléans is over. The victory is celebrated all across France. Joan of Arc, the Maid of Orléans, is a hero. She is known for her bravery, faith, and fighting for freedom. Her victory gives hope to the French and changes the 100 Years' War. Even though Joan wins battles, some people are jealous of her. They start making secret plans against her. Joan trusts in God and doesn't see the danger. She just wants to free France. During the Battle of Compiègne, Joan is captured by the Burgundians, who are fighting for the English. This is a terrible betrayal. The Burgundians give Joan to the English. The Maid of Orléans, once a symbol of hope, is now a prisoner. Joan is put on trial in Rouen. The English say she is a witch and doesn't believe in God. They want to make her look bad and stop the French from fighting. It's not a fair trial. The English just want to get rid of her. Joan is brave during the trial. She talks about her visions and her faith. But the English don't listen. They have already decided what will happen to her. On May 30th, 1431, Joan of Arc is burned at the stake. She is only 19 years old. As the fire burns, Joan says her last word, Christ. Even though Joan dies, her bravery inspires the French people. She becomes a symbol of faith and love for France. She is a martyr for her country. Joan of Arc's story is still remembered today. Her bravery and faith inspire people all over the world. Years later, the Church says that Joan was innocent, and then many years later, the Catholic Church makes her a saint. Joan of Arc's story teaches us about faith, courage, and how one person can change the world. Joan, the farm girl who believed in her mission, shows us that even when things are bad, hope and faith are important. Her story reminds us to fight for what we believe in and to never give up.